Hi guys, it's really early and I really felt like doing a video, even though I feel really dreadful, but I'm doing this video really for my own reasons more than anything else, just to see how everybody else in the soul traveler community is doing. Because, flippin' heck. Just a second, guys, okay? Reason being that I have never, in all my fake time in this realm, as far as I can remember, I have never ever felt what I am feeling now. It is really fucking scary. It's really scary, right? Wow. I don't even know where to start. I really don't. But I do feel it's important for me to do this video because I'm pretty convinced there's other soul travelers out there who feel the same, who are feeling it and seeing it and getting it and knowing it. So I was reading that book by a guy called David McGowan called Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon, right? I read it in 2 days, I think, 2 or 3 days. It's you know, fantastic book in terms of truthfulness. Now, I already knew that the 60s scene, 70s, whatever, was very contrived and choreographed, you know, and curated and whatnot. I knew that anyway. I knew about Jim Morrison's dad and the Bay of Tonkin. I knew about a lot of stuff anyway, I did. But reading that book brought it all back to me in a very stark way. In a way like where you walk into a darkened room and somebody flicks on like some really horrible interrogation light, you know, like LED, like it's brought everything into a really stark, I can't even think of the words, like whoa, because of course everything that happened in the 60s, the whole sort of counter culture, which is first they create culture, then they create counter culture, then they create counter culture. Like in the 70s, the whole punk thing, that was all massively contrived. Vivienne Westwood, Malcolm McLaren, I knew all that. It's all about consciousness hacking and subversion and distortion. But the thing is that what we're dealing with here, all the horrible, evil, twisted, sick shit that we're dealing with here, it's demonic. It's demonic. That is what it is. These characters that we had on the scene of the 60s, or that we had on the scene of the, you know, the sort of all the Madame Blavatsky aficionados and the seances that erupted everywhere before World War One, but even more so after World War One, which was very sinister, you know, really, when you look into it. There's a very short chapter at the end of the book, talks about Harry Houdini, who was always into exposing that, but he himself was a very sinister character, and there was a lot of missing children and a lot of weird stuff about adopting children that subsequently would disappear, and it just the problem with it is that I always say this evil, you know, it muddies the waters because it makes it very complicated and the book, just reading the book, there's so many different names and so many different angles that, to all intents and purposes, this book could have been 1,000 pages long and it wouldn't have covered it properly, right? You get you get the gist of it, you get it in a nutshell, but it's way bigger than that, people, way bigger than that. I mean, I think about, say, somebody like, say, Jiddu Krishnamurti, who came out with a lot of really powerful, profound wisdom, but who was a kiddie fiddler, basically, and who himself had been sexually abused by the people that used him when he was a child. You know, so that's there. There's Madame Blavatsky. There's all these different rivers and all these different characters, and all of it is demonic. All of it is demonic because it just got. Oh gosh, sorry guys, sorry. Okay, I won't be long. Oh jeez. There is the light, there is a true consciousness, that there is us, souled beings, ensconced in whatever this is, you know, and it's like we're always waking up. We're put through absolute misery every day in every imaginable way, expecting something bad to happen perpetually because it does, traumatized to the hilt. It is torture. They are torturing us more now than ever before, but and we are surrounded by, maybe I should just, I cannot be certain, so I cannot say for certain, but in my own experience, they're demons, right? And reading that book again and just realizing that I can't listen to any of this music anymore. I can't listen to the Doors anymore because they were bloody evil. And I know, because when I do listen to this music, when I do listen to even the Manic Street Preachers or the Pavement or any of it, I feel this energy that is like, no. It's adrenaline. It's cortisol. There is no peace in it. There's no tranquility in it. There's no wellness or goodness in it at all. But I can listen to, I don't know, Antonio Vivaldi, and it feels wholesome. It feels good. I can listen to Brahms's German Requiem, and I can feel the intensity of the music, because it's profound. A lot of German composers came out with it's very Germanic. It's very intense. You always know when you're listening to music, classical music that's written by German composers, as opposed to, say, the Russians. They have a very different feel, still very intense, but different somehow, like Tchaikovsky or Prokofiev or whatever. Anyway, that's sort of not what I'm wanting to talk about. It's just that I can no longer listen to any of that music because it's evil, it's demonic, and it's heavily charged with negative energy that has a bad influence. And that is why it's there, because it's weaponry. All the TV series, Netflix, Amazon Prime, fucking television, like the movies, man, like, wow, all of it is weaponry. It's weaponry. The subliminal. There was a woman who got a new phone and she was taking photos of her face for some reason, and there was a TV behind her, and she just caught the TV screen and it said "kill" with great big black letters, as she was there was a children's cartoon playing on the screen at the time that she was taking that selfie, and she just ended up catching the subliminal. right? People don't realise, so people that are not awake, they do not realise what they're exposing their children to. It's absolutely horrific. And all of this is obviously by design. When you get intrinsically the sense of the evil that it is, it's a terrible shock to the system. I'm not at all surprised that we, on some subconscious, unconscious level, choose to dissociate, because it is horrifying. Laurel Canyon was already an evil place. I bet you that place was evil long before there were any houses there. See, your Native American people, they would have avoided a place like that. They would have known. They always did. They had the wisdom, which is why they were targeted with alcohol and disease-infected blankets. This is why they were sent off to these religious schools where they were ritually sexually abused and murdered, because a lot of these Native American children were. It's an absolute fact. The same happened to the Aboriginal people, and the same happened to the Maori people, and so forth and so on. And the same happens to our ancestors as well. It's not like, oh, the white man is evil. They want you to think that. No, it's not true. But they targeted us first and became, you know, we're now surrounded by machine people, right? Something has happened here that cannot be explained in any kind of words, because there aren't any words for it. We only have words for the reality, that the fake reality, that we have been given, that we have been living, that we think we have been living when we were in a dissociative, trauma-based, mind-controlled state. The truth is that you know, that is not what this is, and it never fucking was. We've just been living a fucking lie, and we've only got language to describe the lie that we've been living. We don't have language to describe the truth of what we've been living. And to be fair, that when you arrive at the point where you start to really, really get it and really feel it, you're left in such a place where you don't want to talk, because you feel so dreadful. You've got nothing left to say, because you feel that you know that you're, well, in hell. You know, is it The Tempest? Shakespeare, something? Hell is empty and all the devils are here. I think that's the situation we're dealing with. That book, Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon, I highly recommend it, but it's not for the faint of heart, because it connects all the dots, because all the dots have got to be connected. You've got to go all the way back, because all this shit happened long before the 60s, began way back. We've had many dark resets, people, alright, remember that. And we've had one very, very recently. So the place I usually go for my saunas was closed for some refurbishment work, right? So I couldn't have a sauna. So I had to look around online, as you fucking do. And have you noticed how everything now is conducted via the internet? Get the app for this, get the app for that, get the app for that. Because my friend's car wouldn't start yesterday, and he had to call AA. Because he was there stuck in his car, couldn't do any work, everything was arse over backwards yesterday. In the morning he was doing a garden in a place near here, which I call Demon Town, because it's all these new housing developments. It's absolutely dreadful. He said there were absolutely no birds anywhere, which is highly unusual. After that, he couldn't start his car, so he had to call AA. And they just put you through this torturous experience of, oh, get the app, instead of actually phoning them and speaking to somebody, which he ended up doing in the end. But they just want you to go online and get the app and sit there like a fucking gormless idiot for 6 hours waiting for them to show up. Whereas if you call them, you get stuff done. It's really sadistic, and they do it on purpose, because it drives people completely insane with rage, and because it's torture, it's abuse, man, it's evil. But they showed up and blah, but the whole day was just totally fucked. Anyway, the reason yesterday was the way it was, and Sunday was the way it was, and Saturday was the way it was, is because I looked online for another place where I could have a sauna in the interim. And I found this place, this gym, where, you can have a free day pass, and you can use the sauna and whatever. You know, obviously they're trying to get new members, whatever, right? Okay, so sorted that out, got a new free day pass. My friend did the same. We went there Saturday morning, in a car park, walked in, and were assaulted by all these TV screens with these weird looking people with honestly strange looking faces, a bit weird and distorted looking. Immediately my alarm bells went off. Something felt demonic about it, right? The music, very loud music that I call it music, but I shouldn't, because it wasn't. It wasn't music at all. That was not music, whatever that was. Bear with me a minute. I just got to make sure this is charging. Yeah, it is. Right. Okay, that wasn't music. That was just a horrible, grating, nervous system assault called music. It was horrible, it was disgusting, and it was evil, right? And it was very loud. And this group of weird-looking demonic people doing these dance routines, similar to what they were doing during the cough psyop, if you remember, in the hospitals, all that was going on. Right. So I knew straight away, okay, this ain't right. And now, at that point, I should have known better and said, right, we're not doing this. Let's get the fuck out of here. It's evil. It's feeling evil. But I didn't. Man, oh man, I just see what I mean. And then I end up beating myself up because it's like, Anika, when will you fucking learn? You do not live in a world that you think you live in. These are not normal people. This isn't normal. This isn't ordinary. This is evil. They're demons. My God, wake up. But no. Anyway, end up having a sauna. There were people in there that just weren't right at all. I ended up engaging in conversation with some of them. Bad idea, bad idea. See, it's that old codependent pattern again. On the way out, music even louder. There were all these people sitting in that reception area having coffee. There were like, I don't know, about 30 people. And there were all these gormless looking, NPC-ish, like people having really horrible, cheap smelling, disgusting coffee and looking all happy. The music was so loud, it was like deafening. There were TV screens everywhere. The energy was just disgusting. And I looked at those people and I knew beyond the shadow of a doubt that every single one of them was demonic. They looked like corporate people, like people that are the way they dress, the way they look. There is no individuality about them whatsoever. They are plastic, cardboard, cutout, conveyor belt people. Like NPC Series 1, and there is NPC Series 3, and so forth and so on. Plastic, corporate, fake people. They're not real, they're NPCs, but they... And then subsequent to us leaving that place, I mean, every fucking thing went wrong. And I've had this experience before where we met some people, and this was years back, at a little bench on a path in the woods by bird tables. And at the time we didn't fucking know anything, and we was talking with them and they were all about themselves. It was all me, and stupidly, being really codependent at the time, I was all like, oh yeah, and ooh and ah and stupid, giving them all that fucking food. And then subsequently got back on my bike and it was fucking carnage, man. There was a dead fox mold in the road. Everything just went distorted and slanted and enchanted and weird and evil and disgusting. And the same happened after that experience in the gym. It was absolutely horrific. So my friend yesterday, I mean, it stole my weekend. It literally did. The time went by really, really quickly. Everything took forever. There were the traffic signs just would not go green. There were roadworks everywhere and there was actually nothing going on. There was nobody doing any work at all. It was just diversion. It was all wrong and it was all fucking evil. There was a weird smell. All the colour was gone. There was no colour anywhere. We both, my friend and I, felt utterly exhausted, like we had all the life drained right out of us. Suicidally depressed. Aches and pains everywhere. Foggy, like floaters in my eyes. You know, his eyes went deaf. It felt like, you know, airplane ears, whatever. It was all wrong. It was bad, man. And I just thought to myself, you know, and then yesterday, right, turns out it was the battery. So he went to a place called Helford's, and he said this experience there was just like, what the fuck? He said all the staff of the place that were supposed to replace the battery in his car were wandering around like they were, I don't know, retarded or something, like there was something wrong with them. They were just like all, you know, like that. And then they put the wrong battery in, and then, oh, sorry, it's the wrong battery. Oh, we don't actually have the battery you need. And they wasted his time and they fucked him around, and they were just like, what the fuck, right? And on our way home from, you know, to my place, from that bloody, you know, gym on Saturday, ended up getting some petrol at Sainsbury's here in town. Now, that petrol station is designed a certain way to really fuck with people, because it's like you have to wait for the car in front of you to fill up and leave before you can get out. It's all really, you know, it's designed on purpose that way. There was a guy in front of me who, I can't even describe it. I mean, he was an NPC without any doubt, but he was demonic. He was a fucking demon. He took forever to fill up, right? He had to get his little plastic gloves and put those on, which took him forever. He was really like, oh, you know, I have to put my gloves on. And then he was filling up, and then he turned around and he looked at me, looked straight at me, but through me or past me. And I was reminded of, you know, when somebody dies and their eyes are still open, but they're dead. It's like that. Vacant. Nothing there, man. But at the same time, there was something there. This is very odd. It was like there was nothing there, and yet there was something there, but it was evil and demonic, and he was doing it on purpose. Now, you can use your card to pay at the pump there, right? But no, he had to go in. And he just went really slowly. And then he was in there forever and ever. And I'm sat there and oh my God. I wanted to get out. And you know what I mean? Because I mean, I have a bit of a temper anyway. But this was literally torture. And it was done on purpose. All of it was just horribly, horribly twisted and nasty and evil and demonic and fucking slanted and enchanted, right? And yesterday, for my friend, it was like that. He said it was like they could have said straight away, we don't have the correct battery, but instead they were trying, this woman who said was, again, like vacant, like she was dead, trying to fit the wrong battery, and it was all just fucking like, what the fuck? And he was there for ages, and you know, he couldn't do his job that day. He couldn't work. So I'm reminded of this X-File episode, which is season 5, episode 19, Folie à deux, where this telemarketing office, and God knows, a typical type of evil fucking shithole garbage place where, yeah, it's all about mind control, you know, garbage telemarketing. This guy keeps seeing his boss turning into a giant insect and turning people into zombies, right? Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, go in, come out, grey and dead. And that is exactly what's happened here, because, of course, the vast majority of people have had a certain procedure, right? They've had the poke. And they are not, I think that what I feel is that they were NPCs before, but because they've had this, something has changed. And it's like a friend of mine said in an email, they are different. People that he's known for years that were okay before are very different. They are vampiric. And he used that word, I think, specifically, and I think you were right. They are vampiric, because that is exactly what that was in the gym. They were vampiric. They were all there, all happy, happy, happy in their corporate, plastic, dead, hellish, whatever. It honestly, it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? They have no sense of anything living, of beauty, of meaningfulness. All they care about, they love going to the gym, man. They love their running machines and their walking machines. They like jogging by the side of busy trafficked roads. You won't find them, for the most part, you do sometimes, but you won't find them for the most part in nature. They hate nature. They love all the new housing developments, even though these new houses are, to all intents and purposes, fucking dangerous to live in. Because there was a guy in the sauna, in the demon sauna, talking about how he bought one of those houses. Typical NPC, because only an NPC would buy these fucking things. And he nearly burned to death in his own home because the wiring was all wrong and there was a massive fire. And then he decided to move out and rent the place out. Oh boy. It's difficult to do a video about this because, like I said, there are no words to describe it, because those words don't exist, because we thought we were living in that reality, but we're not. I made some notes because I just want this, So basically in the X-Files, this guy, he sucks the souls out of people, and Rudolf Steiner talked about this. He said that they would find a way to inject people or some such thing, sucking the souls right out of them, severing their connection to themselves and severing their connection to the Creator. And I know I talk about us being infinite, and I do believe that we are, but at the same time we are part of this the Great Spirit. The Native Americans call it the Great Spirit and the Great Mystery, and I feel that is the best terminology for it, really, because it is unknowable. But I do know it intrinsically to be inherently good, benevolent, and giving, nurturing, sustaining all that is good and beautiful and meaningful, right? And everything that I've been seeing and feeling, and in that book, Weird Teens Inside the Canyon, and all my other forays into truth seeking that I've come across about, the whole occult and the seance and this and that and everywhere, all of it, that is evil and is a polar opposite, and it absolutely hates the light and it hates souled beings. And I feel that for the most part now, we are literally surrounded by demonically charged creatures. They appear to be people, but I don't really think they are. Just like the people that came out of the office in the telemarketing building, that the one guy of all the people that worked there was seeing, because obviously he was a soul traveller and he had spirit eyes like us, they were all zombies, they were all dead, they were grey and they were dead, but nobody else was seeing it, and they were still animated and they were still going about their daily business, but they no longer had any interest in that which is good and pure and true and alive and meaningful, that which generates beauty and creativity and well-being, that which is of love, nature, animals, beautiful trees, beautiful flowers, beautiful birds, beautiful people, love, communion, connection. You see what they've done here, what these evil demons have done, and they've been operating here That it's like a quantum infiltration. They live. Because when you do a bit of research into shapeshifters and this and the other, you inevitably you come across videos of people whose faces morph. They morph into all kinds of weird demonic shape. Evil loves ugliness and hideousness, right? It loves obesity and it loves ugly, distorted people. It likes people with amputated limbs. It likes people with, I don't know, weird, misshapen horribleness. It loves all that. It loves to mock the work of the Creator. It loves to mock the great Spirit. The true God. I hate that word God. It's not a good word, but for lack of a better, right? And that's what it is. It's satanic. It's secularism. You know, there is nothing. We're just you know, this is all we are. That we're just meat sacks. And when you die, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's no meaning. There's no divine design of any kind. There's nothing at all. There's no. Which is, when you really stop and consider that, is the most blatant lie ever told. Because if that were true, then nothing would exist. The life force is inherent in everything, and it is because without that, nothing can exist, right? So it's all a blatant lie. And man, oh man, I mean, they've been spraying the skies like you won't believe. I mean, I've never known anything like it. The planes are way lower than they used to be, and you can hear them, you know, and they actually go around in squares and circles, and it's like, wow, I've never seen anything like it. It's really bad. The biggest thing that they've done through the trauma-based mind control is to create this separation from self. It's Tuesday, so the garbage fan is out there, right? And everything has to make a noise. Have you noticed that? How everything has to make a noise? Beep, beep, beep. Fucking car alarms, people's home alarms, and everything is going off all the time, and nobody tends to it and switches it off, right? Fucking my friend, because he's a gardener, so he posts his services on this website, and then people can get in touch and post jobs, and so it puts, you know, people who do the work in touch with people who want the work done. So there's people posting on there for somebody to come around their house and pick up dog shit from their garden. That is demonic. That is evil. If you have a dog, you take that dog out into nature and you go for a walk, right? And they do their business there, that's it. And when they do that, these demons, they will collect, because everybody does this now, you collect the dog poo in a little plastic bag, and instead of taking that and whatever, they then chuck that plastic bag there, woof, just in nature. That's demonic. That's what it is, it's demonic, right? And to post that, can somebody come around and pick up dog shit from my garden because I'm a lazy, disgusting demon and I can't be bothered taking my dog for a walk? So I just let him shit in the garden. And then the amount of money they're prepared to pay for somebody to come around and do that is like, what the fuck? So that is demonic. That is evil. And they are evil. I mean, the noises, it's like that one, the garbage collection, it's like, it just makes a shitload of noise, man. You know, everything makes noise. It's like you watch a video of a film or a TV series, everything is noise. Percussion, music, all there to affect your emotionality, to extract loose from you, to feed off you, to suck your life force out. That is what it is. I don't know if you've noticed on all the Tetra packs, like your milk, I don't drink milk, but I use goat's milk and whatnot. So it's milk, but it's not goat's, whatever. Oh God, I'm so tired. I'm literally just like, blah, blah. Cow's milk does not agree with me, right? So goat milk, but so you get your Tetra packs, right? And you used to be able to unscrew the top and take it off. Now you can't. It used to be where if you were trying to unscrew the top, in fact, I'm going to show you what I mean, right? It's probably best to do that, and then you know what I'm on about. So it used to be that when the lid was like this, look, right, you see, like, yeah, used to be that when that happens, that used to be a, you know, that wasn't meant to be, it was a mistake, a factory issue, and it used to annoy people. Now, all packs are like that. Every single fucking lid is like that, and you cannot bloody close them properly, nor look. So it's like that. So it's like, oh, you have to keep it open in order to pour, and it's a fucking pain in the ass, and it's done on purpose. They make it sound like, oh, it's done for this reason and it's done for that reason, and it's all good because we're so fucking good. Well, you're not fucking good. You're demons and you're evil, and everything that comes out of your fucking mouth is a fucking lie. Your mouth is moving, your lips are moving, which means filth is coming out. You're just spewing fucking lies. I am so angry. I feel such rage because the realization that has been brought home to me, even more so, is how we have been turned against ourselves. It needs for us to hate ourselves. It needs for us to beat ourselves up mercilessly. You never get it right. Oh, you never get it right. And you're so old, and you're so ugly, and you're so this, and you're so that, and you're so shit. But the whole situation here has been choreographed by them so that everything we try and do kind of goes wrong now. You're so traumatized you can barely think straight. You're so exhausted you can't bloody function. It's always been bad, right? It really has. The so-called, what they refer to as the underbelly, which is way bigger than that, but you just got to look at the photos of Vivian Maier, right? It was always there, this horrifying evil. You know, all the most horrific evil imaginable that I'm not going to even go into because that just won't serve any purpose. I'm sure you all of you who are awake know exactly what I'm on about. And yes, it is simulation, like, it's true, and we mustn't feed it because it gives it strength. It's like it's putting all these really horrible, this island thing that's really coming up now. It wants us to keep thinking about, oh, they've done this and they're doing that and this is going on and that's going on. And when you do that, you feed it and you give it, you create it, you make it real, because evil can't create, you see. It needs our magic, our life force, our power to create. And so we must take back our power and we must reconnect to self. We must become incredibly self-aware and present, which is very difficult because we spent most of our life on automatic because of the trauma-based mind control. So you're on automatic, you're not present, you're very codependent, so you're really kind, really forgiving. Other people let people get away with absolute fucking murder and you shouldn't at all. You're very supportive and empathetic and you listen to people and you think you're such a good person because you're so kind and you're such a doormat, right? And they suck the fucking life right out of you, man. They suck you fucking dry and you get sick and you get mentally ill and severely depressed and you know, and it just destroys you, right? You're not connected to self. You're not even allowed to have any self awareness. The most important thing for us to do right now is to be aware of how they have fucked with us in every imaginable way to make us not even self-aware, not even present in our being, in our body, right? And when you're not connected to yourself, to your true, powerful, radiant, true self, you are not connected to the Creator, the Great Spirit, the giver of all that is alive and beautiful and good. Right? Separation consciousness, yeah? It's what the New Age movement calls it. And that's a mockery, right? But it is. But it's also an illusion, you see, because that is never the case, because we never were separated from self, and we never were separated from the Creator, the Great Spirit, the Great Mother. We always were connected. And it's to come back into the knowing of that intrinsic, indelible, forever eternal connection to self, meaning to start to love yourself, to be aware of, wow, I have been so brutal to myself, I've been so cruel to myself, and to know that that is not your fault. You were made to act that way toward yourself so that they could live, the demons, right? That your life force, your energy belongs to you and nobody else, right? So stop enabling these motherfuckers, right? Do not engage, do not engage, do not engage. Don't talk to people, right? Talk to animals, talk to nature, commune with trees, put your hands on the tree and you can feel their life force, their power. Put your hand on the soil, put your hands in the rivers, yeah? But stay away from these fucking NPCs pretending to be real people, because they will suck you dry. They really will. Be aware, because you want that love and that kindness to go somewhere. You feel the need to give of the milk of your human kindness, right, as it's called, as it's referred to. You want to give that love to people. You want to live in a world where you're able to love and be loved, where you are safe, where you are free, where everything is okay, where you don't need to be terrified something bad's going to happen all the time. How am I going to survive? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? I mean, what do you think is happening right now with this fucking bullshit, with that psychopath, right? That red-haired, demonic, evil psychopath, and what's happening over in Persia, right? What do you think that's all about? They control the money, they control the fuel, right? And it's all a fucking lie, because we have free energy. And I don't know if you've noticed, by the way, but this whole Tartaria business, right, as well as Gnosticism, there's a shitload of artificial created YouTube channels now talking about Tartaria and talking about Gnosticism. And when you are stupid enough to listen to any of it, you will soon realise it's undue influence, so please don't. It is all subversion and distortion. So it takes truth and then bends it completely. Because Flat Earth, Tartaria and various other topics that are spoken about on YouTube, in YouTube videos by genuine souled people, you put it in, you put stuff in the search box and you're not getting the genuine, honest, souled channels. You're going to get this AI generated filth, and it's all a pack of lies, and it's all choreographed to distort and mislead and keep everything stuck in hell. That's what they want. So that's really what it's all about. It's absolutely appalling. I noticed that yesterday, because I haven't noticed that before, because there's a few channels that I'm subscribed to that talk about you know. And I'm not saying, by the way, that, oh, flat earth is the truth. I mean, I reckon it's way beyond that. I think it's something other than that. But it's not a spinning ball floating through an empty, cold, hellish expanse. They want to impose that on us because it sort of fits with the whole you're all alone in hell forever and there's no way out type of thing, yeah? To come back into communion with self is so important. I feel with all my being, with all my soul, that it is the be-all of it all, that it is the alpha and it is the omega, that it is everything, to come back home to self, because that is where the magic lies and that is where the power lies, because everything was done to block that off. And there is a reason for that. There has to be, right? And then being replaced by all this garbage that you become addicted to because you're in a constant state of against self. Like you've been split, fragmented, ripped apart, eviscerated. And it's like, oh, I need to have a ciggy, I need to have a drink, or I need to watch some porn, or I need to buy some retail therapy and so that souled beings engage in a shitload of activities, one way or another, that are toxic and evil and bad, that undue influence perpetually, and it's catch-22, and it'll just keep you trapped, and you've got to stop doing it, and you've got to walk away from it, right? I can't listen to any of that garbage anymore. I won't listen to the Manic Street Preachers anymore. I won't listen to The Pavement anymore. I won't listen to Led Zeppelin anymore. I won't listen to fucking anything like that anymore. I will listen only to music that instills in me a sense of goodness, of beauty, of appreciation, of belonging, of communion with that which is beautiful and good and pure and true. That which honors the light, right? Books, I only read books that I am intrinsically guided to read. And when I do, always the Great Spirit communes with me and talks to me and guides me back to myself. And I've been working on that, reconnecting with myself, being in awareness of how cruel I have been to myself and how much that has hurt. And how this is what soul retrieval is to love yourself over and over and over again, even as you go through all these layers of that all that energy in you that has been sitting there for all that time, like in a cesspit, all this hate and all this rage because you've been so badly mistreated your whole life. We're not supposed to exist like this, people. We're not supposed to grow old. We're not supposed to be sick. We're not supposed to procreate and stick body parts into holes in our body that we also use for waste excretion. We shouldn't even have to go through them. Eat and piss it out and shit it out. It's disgusting and it's evil and it's done on purpose. This is not the way that we used to exist at all. We are magical beings, and I truly mean that. And I know you think that I'm mad. Perhaps you think, oh well, that only exists in the books. But when they give you these books or these TV series, they're mocking you, you see, because we're in a spellbound state. They have done this to us. But at the same time, they are, well, what's the word? Figmentary. They can only exist because of us. We, without realizing, have allowed them to exist. We feed them. It's loosh that makes them exist. So coming back to self, love, coming back to communion and connection to the Great Spirit, the Creator, the Great Mother, to feel the power of love and light within us and all around us is of the most important right now. It's so important, it's so important, it's so incredibly important to do your inner work, to look at what you're thinking and what you're feeling and what you're doing, and to really just practice being present, to work through cleansing out, purging out all the garbage that was put into us etherically as well, because there's so much crap in our psyche and in our bodies, and it's all connected and it all needs to be cleared out and cleansed out. It is of the utmost importance, more now than ever before. We have to do what needs to be done here, soul travelers. It's very important. I cannot tell you how to do anything, but I do know this. Stop following people. Stop listening to bloody gurus or groups or these people like the Cassiopeans over there and this, that, over there and over there. This person is telling you what's going on and that person is telling you what to do. Because when you do that, you're bleeding out your life force, you're opening up yourself to undue influence, and you are not empowering yourself. You're not being in your center. You're not being in your true self. You're not connecting to self. See, I've never done that. I have to say that for myself. I don't really follow anybody. Things just, yeah. I mean, I might see an ad or I might see 5 minutes of a video by somebody. I don't listen to everything they say, or even if I do, it's not a case of, I take on verbatim everything they say and whatnot. You see, most people, I'm sure you've noticed, all they do is repeat. They're repeaters. They repeat, oh yeah, you know, because like the conversation in the sauna in that demon fucking gym, and I have been there before. I've done a video about this ages ago, where I was also in a demon gym and the same shit happened, and it's like, when will you learn? But you know, the conversation was about menopause and the hot flushes and all the misery, and you should get, I'm on all the pills and I'm on all the patches and blah blah blah, because women never used to live past the age of 40, you know, and when they've had all their kids and then they would die, because that's what it was and how it was, and I'm like, you're spewing some major fucking bullshit there, like absolute garbage. But that's all they do. They're programmed with distorted, demonic lies, and they spew out those lies on the perpetual, right? That's what they're there for. I used to call them mundane reality reinforcement officers, but it's way beyond that now. It's because of without any doubt, they used to be better mimics. You used to be able to think of them as people that were okay-ish, doable, but they're not anymore, right? They're not anymore at all, and they all seem retarded, and they literally, their eyes are like a person, like a corpse. They have the eyes of a corpse. They look like animated corpses. Which is why for years and years, even in, 2008, 2009, you know, on YouTube, there used to be these videos about, the coming zombie apocalypse. Well, we're here. We're here. I think I'll call it a day there, people. I've been going on for a bit. I felt like I really wanted to get all this stuff, you know, I just wanted to share this with, with my soul traveler family. Please comment and tell me what's going on. I don't know if you've noticed on Mr. MBB333, there's a lot of weird shit going on across the plane. So there's like all these loud booms being heard. Now this sound in the sky has been happening for a long time. These kind of like weird, sometimes it's like metal on metal, really loud in the sky, but now it's booms and people's houses are shaking. There are fireballs. Everybody goes, they're comets, Mr. MBB, being a normie, calls them comets, but they're not fucking comets at all. Somebody that my friend does the garden for saw a great big fireball streaking through the sky here in Plymouth. Something is up in a big way, and that is part of why we're feeling the way that we do as well. I'm convinced of it. So I really want to hear from you all out there. I deleted my last video because some weird shit happened, and I felt as well that some of it I was lacking in integrity. Because here's another thing, these videos that I do, sometimes ego slips in, you know, it just does. I'm not perfect, far from it, and I get a bit, you know, whatever, and I don't want to do that anymore, right? I really don't. I think my integrity, our genuineness, our honesty, our humility is more important now than ever. And I have no business talking about things or people that I don't really know enough about. So I might be talking about something, saying it's this, it's that, but in fact it isn't, because I don't actually know. So I felt that I had to take that video down, because I just felt that I lacked integrity. And for me, my integrity is everything. Integrity is forgiveness, is humility, and humility is to be true to self. Is to recognize when you're being egotistical, i.e. fake self, i.e. trauma-based behavior, right? Blustery, cavalier garbage that doesn't serve the light in any way. Pretending you know something that you don't, I don't know, whatever. And you'll find that often enough when you watch particular films, movies, or listen to particular music, you feel almost like inspired to be egotistical, to be fake self, to engage in behavior that does not serve the light. And of course that is exactly what that's all about. So just be in awareness, you know, that's just me. And again, like, do not follow anybody. Don't follow me. Not that I have ever told anyone to do so. I mean, I just do these videos because I myself am on my journey, and I just talk about my experiences and my journey, such as it is. But I do share of my experiences and my wisdom that I have gained. But that doesn't mean it should be your wisdom. Your wisdom can only be gained through you walking your path, and that's all there is to it. You walking your path and being true to yourself and doing your inner work and connecting to self and connecting to the great mother, you know, the light of love. Because ultimately only love can sort this out. Only love can sort this out, and I feel this with my soul, and I will walk that path. I will walk the path of integrity, of self-honouring, of being genuine and being honest, and of humility. Yeah, I don't need to be anything other than what I am at any given time. To be true to self and to love myself there, to love self. All my love to all of you. Bless you.